What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a mock draft from the 107 on flockfantasy.com. Getting ready for a ESPN home league draft that I have here in a few days. I'm drafting at the 107. Hoping to get Amon-Ra St. Brown to follow us here. So here we go, guys. And we are going to get Amon-Ra to follow us there. Perfect start. Just what we wanted right there, guys. Get Amon-Ra in the first round. Safest pick in the draft. When you're in this like middle range here, it's kind of gross, honestly. Obviously they're first round pick, so I wouldn't say gross, but I just don't like CMC. I'm not a huge fan of Taylor either, but I'm really excited to be able to get Amon-Ra there. With our second pick, it's the running backs are they're moving down the draft board a little bit, but it's kind of tough. It's like I feel like you kind of have to take a running back in this range, or else you maybe not though. Maybe not. I'm not going to take Bowers here. I think, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go through with Malik Neighbors. Or no, actually, Nico is still available. I'm going to go with Nico here. I do like Neighbors a lot. I do have him behind Nico in my rankings right now. So if that means anything, you guys, or not. But Malik could move up above Nico if with a couple more good weeks leading into the season, because Malik has an insane ceiling that almost nobody can match besides Chase, Puka, and maybe JSN. All right, so now with the running backs in this range here, we have Javonte, we have Kyron. No one I'm super in love with. I do like ETN a ton in the fourth round, though. We're going to hope we can get him, and we're going to go through. We'll take Kyron. I'm not in love with Kyron, but you just have to get the RB points at some point. Like, you can't punt it forever. I could have waited and get ETN and then maybe two in, but I'm just going to go through and get Kyron here. And unfortunately, Scat and ETN are not going to make it to us in the fourth round. This is a time. So Intuin is going to fall to us here in the fifth round, which this is a range where I like to take Tuin. He's the highest ranked player according to this ADP on here. So we're just going to go through. We're going to take Tuin here. And we're going to have three really solid running backs after starting wide receiver. There was an error making the draft pick. We want to go through with Tuin here. This website, sometimes it'll just it's a little glitchy. I'm not sure why. Other than that, it's a really great website. But yeah, it just gets a little glitchy sometimes. As you guys can see, kind of slow displaying the players and such as we go through the draft. And so now after taking those three RBs in a row, we're caught up at running back. We're pretty balanced. We have one more running back than wide receiver, which is okay because it's two wide receiver, one flex. We can go through with the wide receiver, Mike Evans, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Watson. Now, if I remember correctly, sorry, I don't have my rankings pulled up here, which is kind of a rookie move. Yeah, it's definitely Mike Evans. I believe he's a top 25 wide receiver for me, just based off my rankings video, guys. But yeah, so we have three wide receiver, three running back through the first 6 rounds. We're kind of punting quarterback and tight end here in this kind of weird range of the draft. It doesn't hurt to go through and get another running back or wide receiver in this range, if I'm being honest. Despite it being the shallow league, I don't really want to get Tucker Kraft here. I don't really want to go through and get Tucker Kraft, I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to much rather prefer to go through and get a guy like Jordan Addison. I'll go through and get Jordan Addison here. I don't want Tony Pollard's 10 points per game. I'm going to go through with Jordan Addison pretty comfortably here. This is a range in the draft that I don't think I've drafted from practicing at all this whole year, so this is kind of new to me. So I'm not really sure who I should be trying to get, what values and such. I do like these running backs later on that I can hopefully get with my next pick, like Jordan Mason or Rachaad White. Now, I could go through and take a QB here because we are really caught up at other positions, honestly. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go through. I'm going to go back-to-back Vikings. I'm going to take Jordan Mason and bet that Vikings offense is going to prove to the upside and that Mason could be a starter for us. I'm going to hope that one of these QBs falls and there isn't a run of QBs here. As you can see, a couple teams here have already went QB, so I'm hoping that will save us. Three teams in a row right there that have all went QB. So Herbert goes, Lawrence goes. We're going to hope that Dak can follow us because I do believe this league I'm playing is going to be 6 point per passing touchdown as well. And Dak will follow us, but I'm honestly just going to wait for a guy like Dart in the next round, actually, because I have him higher than Dak, higher than Purdy in my rankings. So I could go with Kittle here. I do like Kittle in the 10th round, not the 9th. The 9th is a little too early. I'm going to go through and take KC Concepcion. I think he's going to be the alpha wide receiver one in that really bad Browns offense. Which, not even a question. He's going to be the alpha wide receiver one. If, like I said in my video, and there goes Dart. No, that's brutal. This might be a Bo Nix or a Patrick Mahomes pick for us here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go through with Bo. Actually, no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna take Deshaun Stribling here, and we're gonna wait on QB, and we're gonna go double down on that Minnesota Vikings bet unless one of these QBs makes it back around, which they actually could because none of these other teams need a QB anymore. And I'm definitely glad we went and did that. That's kind of why you got to read the board. If everybody after and before you has already got a QB, there's no need to take that QB earlier. So I'm not even going to take a QB in this range. I'd rather go through and hammer another wide receiver, running back, or even the tight end, honestly. And I do like Isaiah Likely a lot to be able to go through and get as our tight end one. So we're going to do that. Then we'll be able to take another tight end later on in the draft as well. I mean, honestly, this range isn't even like a streaming range for QBs yet. Like Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes. The other thing I will say, though, in your home leagues, drafters aren't going to be. But yeah, so honestly, like even here, I'm going to go through with the QB just because I know in a real draft, these guys will be taken. But in this draft, I don't have to worry about it because these drafters are going to be smart. But yeah, I'm going to go through. I'm going to take Brock Purdy. He's available. He's the highest ranked player here. So I'm going to take Brock Purdy. I was thinking that some more guys would go and I'd take Kyler to stack up with Mason and Addison, but I didn't even need to. And honestly, this is making me kind of wish I didn't draft the elite tight end in Brock Bowers last night in my draft because it's a really deep team, but that's kind of not what you need in these shallow formats. So now we can go through and take a second tight end here. I'm going to take Brenton Strange over a guy like Juwan Johnson or Chig Okonkwo. We're going to take Strange. And then with our last pick, it's just going to be an upside running back shot. Yeah, we'll go through probably with Nicholas Singleton here, a guy. Like, who knows? He could become the starting running back in Tennessee if things fall right for him. So, yeah, we're going to take Singleton there, and that's going to round out our draft, and we'll do a little draft review after. So, the Flock Fantasy website's not taking too kindly to our team that we drafted today. We're going to have the fourth best wide receiver room with Amon-Ra, Nico, and then Evans, Addison, Concepcion, Stribling. We have 11th best QB room and then the 10th best tight end room, which is definitely dragging us down. And then our running back room isn't great either. This is a very ugly area to draft from. The other thing is here, like, we're within 300 points of the top ranked team. And this team is ranked so high, A, because they have 2 QBs. B, they ended up taking 2 top 12 tight ends, which kind of pushes them up the rankings because they have the 10th best receiver room. Like, that's terrible. So I'm not too worried about this ranking system. I'm just worried about getting talent in the door. And I also will say if I put my rankings on here instead of the expert average, my team would be higher for sure. But I honestly, the running back room, although we don't have the elite top end talent, we have Kyron, Bucky, and Bashal too, and all going to be starters, all in really good offenses too, honestly. 3 starters in really good offenses. Then you have Jordan Mason, a shot who could be a starting running back in what should be an improved Vikings offense, and then Singleton, who could take over the role in a bad Tennessee offense. Then with your wide receivers, you got the stud Amon-Ra holding it down with Nico. Then you got Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, KC, and Stribling as just some backup, honestly, because you're almost never going to start them with this 3-headed running back committee that we have. But you have the wide receiver one in San Francisco, no matter who it ends up being between Evans and Stribling. You have KC Concepcion going to be a target hog for the Browns. And then you have Jordan Addison, who could see a bounce back. He's always been good when he played with anyone but JJ McCarthy. And then as far as the tight end room, you got Isaiah Likely, you got Brenton Strange, 2 guys I'm higher on than consensus ADPs and even than most creators. I think Likely and Strange is more than fine for a tight end room to hold it down for you. Then you got Purdy, who I think is a great QB to have. He averaged 20 plus points per game last season when he wasn't hurt. And as far as waiver wire moves, like, in this type of league, there's not going to be any to make. But if there is an IR spot, if you draft someone that's injured, you put them on the IR, and then you're able to free up an extra roster spot to go take a guy like Katron Allen, Sean Tucker, Chris Brooks, maybe even Trey Harris. Even though I don't love the wide receivers, I usually like to go for the running backs in that range. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to definitely be doing more of these. I might even start live streaming on here, depending on if I can get some viewers in here and stuff. But yeah, that's the range I'm drafting from this coming Thursday. So I'm trying to get prepared, keep getting ready, and I'm excited for it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace out.